Hare Krishna.
Okay, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Tanma Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, kids.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. All right, kids. Let me share my screen and let's get started, okay?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. All right, you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, kids. So first of all, welcome to today's call. You know that we had been reading Bhagavad Pravaha for last so many weeks, right? And we have made good progress. We have learned so much. So today's class is also focused on that only, right? We're still continuing, and where we left off yesterday, we're going to start from there.
Okay.
All right. So let's start our today's class with the prayers. It's on your screen. Do it together, okay? I like everybody's participation here. So let's start it and we'll do together. Oh, sorry.
Om Agya Divirandasya Krishna Krishna
Jaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine, Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravauni Pracharine, Shri Vishnu Punyavadi Bhashata Vedanine, Jaya Shri
Namo
Krishna
Vishnu Saraswati
Chaitanya
Devi
Prabhu
Gaurvari Pracharya Vishesha Shri Bhattan Vishesha Jai Shri Krishna Jadavishnu Nityananda Shri Sari Gauranga Shri Gadava Shri Sari Gauranga Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Ram
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare.
Papa
All right.
Papa Papa can you hear
Param,
me?
Param, there is a lot of noise, background noise on your side, okay? All right, perfect. All right, kids. So let us continue where we left off yesterday, right? But you know how we do it every time, right? First of all, I'll let you kids explain what happened in yesterday's class so that you can connect things well. So who can explain what happened in yesterday's class? Where did we leave yesterday? Anybody remembers?
Yes, Mataji,
Mataji, we left off with
Prince Maharaj,
I remember that we left
Prince
off with the
Maharaj, like
Kahoot.
saving Indradev.
Pretty much like
Hmm.
doing the 100 sacrifice or doing the 99 sacrifices, but ended up not doing them because Brahmaji said because Lord Brahma said that like
I can't hear you anymore.
Mataji,
Yes,
I
Param.
remember that we left off with a Kahoot.
Okay. Kahoot was an activity, right? I'm talking about the Bhagavad Pravaha part.
and Prithu Maharaj stopped doing the 100 sacrifices because he was because he is very respectful to Lord Brahma.
Mm-hmm.
And thus he got he got boons from and Lord Vishnu was so pleased with him that he gave him a boon that he would have 10 million ears so he can listen to all the devotees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is right. Param, anything else?
Mataji, I remember that in the class that Mataji was stating that like in the Kahoot, like the Mataji made it like a question and it said like how many sacrifices did Putumaraj make for the horses, and then
Or
he
sacrifice.
also Mataji also added that who disrupted the the sacrifice, and then if
You're breaking so much. All right. So kids, I think you have the idea of what we talked about yesterday, right? So let's continue with today's class. So here we are starting when King Prithu is talking to the Kumaras, right? Who knows the names of all the Kumaras? How many Kumaras are there? Anybody knows?
Four Mataji.
Four
Okay,
Kumar.
what are the names?
Mataji, Mataji, I had a question.
Sanat.
Sanat
I'll come
Kumar.
to you.
Mataji, I had a question.
I'll come to you, Param. Give me a second. Yes, go ahead. Kids, you were giving me the
Sanat
names of all the Kumaras.
Kumar.
Sanatan.
Mm.
Sanatan Kumar.
Mm-hmm.
I think we forget Mataji.
Wait, no,
You forgot?
there was two more else. So
Yeah, what else?
Sanat Kumar,
Go.
Sanatan Kumar.
Sanatan, yeah. No, no.
Can I say them?
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
Okay, so there's Sanat Kumara, Sanatana,
Hmm.
Sananda, and Sanata.
Oh my God, amazing. That's true. All right, kids. So it's something you did not remember, right? So this is your homework for today. You have to remember all these four names, okay? Learn and remember. So very well, Janvi. All right. So name is Sanak, Sanathan, Sanatana, and Sanakumara. So all these four. All right. So King Prathu is talking to the Kumaras. Now Sanat Kumara, where we left off yesterday, we're starting from there only. And that is why I wanted you to remember, right, where we are starting from. So he answered the only cause of benefit for human. He's talking to them, right? He's asking them questions. So he says, Sanat Kumara says, the only cause of benefit for human society has been conclusively established in the scriptures as the only way this society could work, the only way humans could be benefited is the only way, right? And what is that only way? First is detachment from bodily conception. You have to detach. You have to detach from everything, right? You can't say, oh, my house, my car. You cannot say that. I mean, of course, we say that all the time, but that is where the detachment comes into picture, where you are not in love with all these material things, right? You're not in love with your car, your house, which are very, very materialistic things. And second thing is attachment to Supreme Lord. Now, while we are trying to detach ourselves with these materialistic things in life, what we are trying to do is we are trying to attach ourselves with Krishna, right? We are attaching ourselves to Supreme Lord. And this is what all the scriptures say. Undoubtedly, this is what we have to work on. And these are attained by constant hearing about Lord's qualities that are like ornaments of the ears or to the ears. So it is so simple, and that is why it is said that Bhakti Marg is so simple that you can achieve these difficult things in life, by how do you detach yourself from bodily conception, or how do you attach yourself to Supreme Lord, is just by constantly hearing about Lord's qualities. And we all know that Lord's qualities are numerous, they're unlimited. We can just keep hearing and hearing and hearing, and all the devotees like us, how does it feel to us? It is like a good music to our ears, right? It's like an ornament to our ears. So it basically beautifies us. It basically enhances us, right? So it is such a simple thing that we can do. Now, attachment to the Lord destroys one material attachments. So you see, these two go hand in hand. Now, if your love for Krishna or Supreme Lord increases every single day, if your attachment with Krishna increases with every single day, what happens is you start losing attachment with materialistic things, right? You all would have heard it many times that once you have the higher taste, you wouldn't like the lower taste, right? It is as simple as if somebody gives you a nice, delicious sweet, which you like, okay, or a chocolate maybe that you like, and somebody gives you maybe a roti and sabji, but you like sweet a lot. So what will you choose? You'll choose a sweet, right? Than your regular food, which is more, which you can choose, right? But that's what it says. When you get the higher taste, when you get the taste to be attached with Krishna, the lower taste go away, right? Anything which is lower than that would go away. You will start detaching yourself with materialistic things, and that is what we should do. But attachments to sense enjoyment leads to lower forms of life, right? So all this, when we talk about, right, my home, my car, my this or my that, or my country or my religion, these are like these are all sense enjoyments. These are all materialistic things. They give you temporary happiness, right? For a moment, let's assume that and it's a hypothetical example, okay? Don't take it literally. Like, for example, I had a car, right? And I really loved my car. Loved so much that I love it more than anything else. Now, something happens to that car, right? I meet with an accident. I survive, but the car goes for total. Or something happens to the car. So, what will happen? Temporarily, I was very happy with that car, but something happens to that car, it gives me a lot of distress as well. I am so unhappy about it right now. And that leads to the lower form of life, because we are deteriorating, because our love for materialistic things, right? Our love is not for, or our attachment is not with the higher things in life. And the only higher thing in life is attaching yourself with Krishna.
I had a question about the four Kumaras, mtji.
Yeah, go ahead, Param.
So like my so I heard that like when the four Kumaras went to Vaikuntha,
Mm.
huh?
Yeah.
Like my friends and I were like outside, like friends were like wondering that how did they look like, how were they, and so
How did they? I
how
missed
did
it.
they how did they look like, and then also how how like how did the gatekeepers uh ask
Treat them.
how did the yeah, basically how did they look, and so
That's also an interesting story. First of all, anybody who goes to the very first answer to your question is about going to Vaikunt Lok, right? So when you go to Vaikunt Lok, it's all transcendental there, right? So when you are in transcendental mode, everything is very beautiful. Everything is transcendental. Everything is the higher taste. Everything is something that we haven't even thought of in our lives, right? So it's because it's all transcendental. It's nothing material there. And that's what it is. Okay, now talking about Sanat Kumara and how he treated the guard and how guard treated them and what happened is an interesting story. So let us finish this. I think I just have 2 slides. Let's
and
quickly finish
Mataji,
this. Yeah.
one of the question that there was is like how did they were they like devotee when they were born, like exactly, and he and then my friend is like really wondering how how did they look like, because he thinks it's like gonna be like like really because he's gonna be have like good, I don't know how to explain it, but he's
Hmm.
really
He wants to know. Okay, so one thing I would recommend
That's
here,
all,
right?
Bala.
Because your friend has a lot of questions about Kumaras. I would say just read, Google for Kumaras, and you will know they're all the stories. Now, if you have any specific questions, or your friend has any specific question, right? Why this happened? I mean, he can read the story, right? He can see what happened and all that. But if your friend still has any question, why did that happen to the Kumaras? Or why happened to one of the Kumaras? Then ask that question and I can answer that. But if you want to see, the whole story, he can always Google and see the story, right?
okay.
Yeah, so let him start from there, because it would be difficult to explain everything if he doesn't even know what actually happened, right? So first he can Google. It's you can easily find the all the Kumara's story, the entire story, on websites. So let him read that story and then ask the questions. Then that is where we can help him with the answers. But that's very good. Thank you, Param, for bringing that up. Interesting, very interesting. Now, by engaging one's senses in service of Lord Vasudev, one can easily uproot the material aspirations. The Lord's lotus feet are the boat to cross this fierce material ocean infested with dangerous sharks. King Prithu thanked the Kumaras, who then departed. So Kumaras are explaining this to Sanat Kumara is explaining this to Prithu, right? About being attached to Krishna, being attached to the the Supreme Lord, and detaching yourself from bodily conception. He's saying why it is important, right? And what is important for us as well. Now, he's also explaining further that Krishna or Krishna's lotus feet is the only option for us, and it is like a boat for us, right? If you just attach yourself with Krishna, follow Krishna's instructions, it will help us going through this material world. Eventually, the only goal we all have is to go back to Golok, Vrindavan, right? We want to go back to Krishna, and that is all Krishna also wants, right? We all are here in Kali Yuga, and Kali Yuga is full of wrong things, right? So our aim is to go back to Krishna. And that is what Sanat Kumara is explaining, that Krishna's lotus feet is the boat that will take us back to him. We will go through this, material ocean, which is infested by dangerous sharks. So when he says it's material ocean, it's nothing, it's just a material world. When he's talking about dangerous sharks, it's not in the literal meaning, it's a shark, but he means that this material world is full of all sorts of dangers, and all sorts of wrong things. So we have to take shelter of Krishna. That is the only way out. Now, King Prithu understood what the Kumaras were saying. He thanked them, and Kumaras departed after that. Now, here, King Prithu very clearly realized what's the goal of life, right? And how he will get the salvation. So, after realizing all that and after hearing all that from the Kumaras, King Prithu ruled his kingdom in an exemplary manner. Although he was amidst great opulence and household comforts, he was fixed up in his bhakti. His reputation was widespread throughout the universe. So that's another thing a lot of people think, right? A lot of people who are not devotees think that oh, King Prithu, but King Prithu had everything a king has, right? They have so much of luxury. They have every single luxury that you can talk about, right? They had all sorts of opulences, household comforts, and everything. So how is he a bhakt, right? But that doesn't matter. Even if he had all sorts of luxuries, he was still very much dedicated in his bhakti. Now, bhakti, even if you want to follow the bhakti mark, doesn't mean that you have to go, you have to do one, have to be a sannyasi, or you have to take vanaprasth. It doesn't mean that. Bhakti marg is specially meant for people like us, right? Who have families. So King Prithu, even though he had all sorts of luxuries, he was very, very dedicated. He was very dedicated on his bhakti, and hence everybody liked him too, right? He was the kind of king who had everything, but he still was respected by everybody because he was such a big bhakt. So just because he was such a big bhakt, he did all his duties and responsibilities very well, and that is why he became very popular. Eventually, when he ruled, Prathu handed over his kingdom to his sons and retired, right? So finally, because he was a bhakt, right? So eventually he just wanted to do bhakti and nothing else. He didn't want to rule the country after that, right? That's what happens eventually, right? He's done his responsibility to the country, to his kingdom, but now he retired. He gave everything to his sons, and then he underwent austerities in Tapovan. So he went to Tapovan with his wife, and then he just underwent the austerities there. He was only dedicated towards his bhakti. By controlling his words, senses, and life airs only to satisfy Lord Krishna. The only aim of his life was to satisfy Lord Krishna. That is all he was doing in Tapovan. His queen, Arsi, also voluntarily followed him into the forest and performed austerities. Though Arsi became thin, she didn't feel any pain due to the pleasure she derived in loving service of her husband. So you see, like even his wife was so dedicated. She did not have to go to to Tapovan. It was King Prathu's decision. He wanted to do that. But she also followed him and she did everything that she could in his bhakti marg, right? Anything to make him comfortable to do his bhakti. That is what she did. And that is why she herself was such a big bhakt. She kept doing it. It didn't matter, what condition they were living in, what facilities they had. It didn't matter to her, neither the king. They both did their austerities there. Now, Prathu constantly worshipped the Lord by Bhakti Yoga. In due course of time, Prathu fixed his mind firmly upon Lord Krishna and gave up his body. Arsi lamented for a while and then placed Prithu's body on a funeral pyre. She then circumambulated the fire 3 times and entered its flames while meditating on her husband. Seeing this amazing act, thousands of wives of the demigods, along with their husbands, praised Arsi. All glories to Queen Arsi. She served her husband with mind, speech, and body exactly as Lakshmi serves Vishnu. She surpassed the Devtas. She is following her husband upward. This Prithu and Arsi went to spiritual world. So do you see? Even though Arsi wasn't directly worshipping Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna, because she was spending a lot of time for the comforts of her husband. So when Prathu, he was constantly worshipping, they both didn't care of her health, of their health or any other, luxuries of food or anything. Finally, one day, Prathu passed away. But he was completely dedicated to Krishna's bhakti. He passed away. Arsi, who was a wife, she was very sad about that. But then eventually, she gathered her courage, and then she put him to fire. But after putting him to fire, she also entered into the fire with him. That was one of the religion thing long ago too in India. Back in India, women used to do that with their husbands. So it doesn't happen anymore. But RC has been praised for that. All the demigods, their husbands, everybody praised RC. And just because of her service to her husband, who was dedicated to Krishna, they both went to the spiritual world. So do you see, even though she wasn't directly worshipping Lord, even though she was, but not to the extent that King Prithu was, but she facilitated King Prithu do his service. There was such a big contribution of her that she did not think of her. She did not think of her at all. She did not think that, oh, I should do my worship so that I can go to Golok Vrindavan, right? If I don't do that, I may not go there. And I'm just, spending all my time taking care of my husband. She didn't think like that. She did what was needed to be done by her as a wife, So that's an amazing story.
The group
What is that?
Krishna and Vishnu.
Exactly. Very true.
mtji,
Yes, Radhika.
this picture is in one of the Srimad Bhagavatams, like the
Yeah.
front cover.
Yeah, so this is their marriage picture. They got married, King Prathu and RC. This is the picture from that. So yeah, you would have seen this picture.
Why are they stepping on a dead?
It looks like a demon. It looks like a demon. Yeah. So yeah, you definitely would have seen this picture because Bhagavad Pravaha is from there. These pictures are
on top of Vanna because they were turned from Vanna's body. So the person laying down is Vanna. So they're like on top of Vanna. I never knew that.
There you go. Awesome. All right. So this is where we end today's Bhagavad Pravaha session. Anybody wants to share anything, any thoughts you have, any questions you have? This is your time. Anything? Balvit, do you want to share anything?
Four Kumaras,
One second, I can hear you. Yeah, no.
You
Go ahead.
said to remember the four Kumaras, so how will we remember their names?
You do not remember four Kumaras. So how will you remember the names? Is that the question?
Yeah, because like, are you going to send them in the group or something?
It is available everywhere. Ask your mommy.
Google. It's literally Google. It's so
Google
easy.
or ask your parents. They will know it. So it's a homework, okay? I will see you again in next class after a week. Next Thursday, I'm going to ask this question, okay? Remember.
mtji.
Okay. And attend the class. Don't disappear because I'm asking questions. Huh? Yeah.
mtji. It's right. So my friend asked me a question.
Hmm.
So I just wanted to see if it was correct or not. Would I give him the answer?
Mm-hmm.
So he asked that is how was the four Kumaras born? I said it was the four Kumaras were born by Brahma made them, like created them, and then they were born like normal babies are. And I think, is that correct?
Yeah. So Kumaras were Brahma's creation. Correct me if I'm wrong, kids. You all know a lot. Kumaras were Brahma's creation. They were Brahma's kids,
Yeah,
right? Anybody
yeah.
has anything else, you know?
And then also, like they he got so in he was like asking like how are usual babies born, and then he went in like how was the four Kumaras, because he really wants to know, but then he doesn't like to read, so he wants
Yes.
he,
So
so
that
he
is
wants to know
important.
how normal babies are.
That is,
I'm just
Param, that
gonna
is why it
tell
is
him.
important. Then you do not explain him because anybody would only learn when you read it, right? If somebody is telling you, you'll just, okay, you'll listen and then to forget it. So if somebody does the research, like your friend, he does the research, he will find his answers and that's how he'll learn more. But yeah, there's something sometimes you do not find answers for, and then you can ask in the forum. I mean, you can ask here in the group, right? All right. With that, kids, it's story time. All right, pay attention to the stories, okay? By the end of the stories, I'm going to ask you the.
Matadi, I thought it was Damodar.
No, not
I
today's.
also know Scouts.
There is no. So, Kahoot doesn't happen every day, kids. One day it will be Kahoot. I think one day we are doing Damodar Ashtakam. One day we are doing moral stories. So, every day is a different thing. It's not going to be same every day, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so today is just it's moral stories today. And yeah, you all will have to share your thoughts with me by the end of the story, right? So when I say thought, it would be what did you learn from the story? What moral does the story has? And all that kind of thing, right? So let's pay attention. All right, so today's story, first story is the magic pot story. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a farmer named Tom. One day he found a strange looking pot in his field. He brought it home and discovered it was a magic pot. Anything he puts inside the pot would double, right? Wow, this is amazing. Tom put an apple in the pot, and to his surprise, two apples came out. He then tried with a coin. He got two coins back. Excited Tom kept doubling his coins until he had many, right? Because he did not have a lot of coins. He had not seen a lot of coins. So he was just testing it out. But Tom's neighbor, Ben, grew grew curious and jealous. He would have seen him doing all that, so he got really jealous. One night he sneaked into Tom's house and saw the magic pot. Ben decided to steal the pot for himself. Then, next morning, Tom discovered his pot was gone. He was sad but realized he still had the wealth he made from the pot. Ben, on the other hand, used the pot greedily. He wanted more and more, and one night, in his greed, he accidentally fell into the pot. The pot doubled him, and now there were two Bens. That is funny, right? The village learned about the magic pot and Ben's greed. Ben had to live with his double self, always reminded of his greed. That's an interesting story. So, kids, what did we learn?
To not be greedy.
We should not be greedy.
We shouldn't be greedy, and we should because we shouldn't be greedy because like the things that we have, like something bad happens or gets taken away. So we don't want anything to be taken away from us.
We
We have
shouldn't.
to not be greedy. Like
We shouldn't.
Exactly.
We shouldn't.
like Benjamin Franklin.
That is right. Thank you, Param, for sharing your thoughts. Yes, Rasika.
So the moral of the story is not to be greedy and take stuff, because then it will react back to you.
Exactly, right? Exactly. That will happen. Palvit, how about you?
We shouldn't be greedy because as Tom was seeing like speaking, he got too much jealous and curious. So he was like, I want to have one of that. So he decided, okay, I will steal it. So when Tom was sleeping at bed, he was awake and greedy about. He was so greedy. So he went in. He got the pot and bring it. So
Yeah,
then he got too much greedy that he made too much that he himself doubled himself. By
yes.
jumping in, he fell into the pot. And then there were two of him.
Wonderful. Thank you, Palvit. Shubhadra, Giridhari, how about you?
Yes, Mother. So, Mataji, we should never be greedy, and like how everyone else said, because if you be too much greedy, then like in this story, how Ben stole Tom's magic pot that doubled everything. He accidentally fell, and like a karma happened to him, because when you do something bad, then something bad will happen to you. If you do something bad to a good person, if you do something bad to a very good person, you may get something bad happen to you. So
Yeah.
like he accidentally doubled himself, and so this is how he reminded himself always of greed.
So
Exactly.
yes, Mataji. So like the moral of the story, like everyone said, Mataji, is like if you become greedy, then if you like always greedy, then like Krishna will not be very happy with you. And also
Yeah.
that the magic pot that the villager knows, Tom, then like he understands that by him utilizing his greed, he's like committing a very bad thing.
Very true. Thank you. Ram, thank you, Shubhadra, Giridhari. Ram, how about you? Ram? Okay. All right. So you kids are right. Moral of the story is greed can lead to troublesome situations. It is important to be grateful, not be greedy. Should never be greedy. Anyways, what's the need to be greedy, right? Krishna is taking care of you. So we should be content. He knows what we want and we will get it. So there is no need to be greedy because there is no end to greed, right? If you have something and if you want more, you always want more, right? You can say, "Oh, I have one pen. I need two pens. I need five pens. I need 10 pens." So there is no end.
Mataji.
Yes, Ram.
So do we? I learned that we shouldn't be greedy,
Mm-hmm.
or else something bad would happen to us.
Exactly. Yeah, and I wouldn't say exactly bad, right? It is all about there is no end to the greed. So, as you said, yes, bad could happen, right? Because then you will call for the troubles. If you're too greedy, like for example, this guy, right? Um, the second guy who got too greedy, he stole his pot. Now everybody knows it. Something could happen to him also, right? Somebody would have stolen it from him also, and something could have happened to him too. So greed can have the consequences, which we have to be careful about. Awesome. Thank you, kids. So we move to our next story. It is
Yay.
called Golden Egg Story. Of course, I think most of us have read this story growing up, but this is still a good story and it does have a very good message in it. So it's important to, revisit that. So let's do this. In another village, the Golden Egg story. In another village, there lived a farmer named Jack. He had a hen that laid a golden egg every day. Jack sold the eggs and soon became rich because one golden egg every day is, is a lot of gold. But Jack grew impatient. He didn't want to wait each day for one golden egg. He thought the hen must have many golden eggs inside her. If I could get all the eggs at once, he would be the richest man ever. How can one think like that, right? How can the hen has all the eggs inside?
Yeah.
He's so stupid, right? But he became greedy. In his greed, Jack decided to cut the hen open and get all the golden eggs. No, but to his shock, there were no golden eggs inside. By killing the hen, he lost his only source of golden eggs. Jack regretted his action. He realized his greed has cost him a fortune, right? If he wasn't greedy, he could have gotten one golden egg every single day, and that is a lot of money too. So he would have gotten that for as many days as it could do it, right? But because of his greed, well, it's his own loss, right? So what do you think, kids? What do you think? Did you learn anything different from this story than the last one?
Mataji, I don't think we learned anything different because
Hmm.
this one's also showing that uh like the man Jack, he was being very greedy. So like he noticed that. So I've read a similar story of the golden egg story, and
Mm-hmm.
it's the same. The man Jack, he saw that he saw that the hen was laying a golden egg every single day, but he
Hmm.
was too patient, and we never must be impatient, and we
Exactly.
shouldn't be greedy because if you're too greedy, too much greedy is an evil, and it could cost you a fortune. Like an example would be if there's a nice house and it costs all of your fortune and you pay for it, then you wouldn't have any money left and it would cost your fortune. It would cost a fortune for your lifetime.
Mataji.
Yeah, that is true. Very true.
I think this is like this story is kind of different and also the same because they're showing the same thing that we shouldn't be greedy, but this one it shows that sometimes that when we um when we get too greedy, we don't think what's gonna happen next, and in this one, and we don't think because Jake, he didn't know. He just killed the hen. He killed the chicken, and the hen, and then he didn't even get anything. He didn't even think about what's gonna happen next. He just was greedy and got because if he would just stay with it, he could have got like 100. Like he could have got a lot if he just kept on going and going and going.
Yeah, you actually brought up a good point, right? That that what did you say? Anyways, I forgot. But yeah, in that greed, you wouldn't even realize what you're doing to yourself, right? When you get greedy, you're not even seeing through that. You're not even realizing that your greed could result into anything. Similar in the last story too, right? That the greed could cause you anything and you won't even know that. So it's important to keep in check. So thank you for that. Ram, like to
No,
share something?
Mataji, Ram is only Param.
Ram, why are you changing your names to confuse me?
Mataji, I think because I think it's changing automatically because I don't because because like when I was joining it was
Yeah.
Param and then it changed to Ram and then and then I don't know what's happening.
I
I have
thought
to
only our stories are magical, but magic is happening here also in our class. What do you think?
I don't know how
Right.
this happened. I don't know how this happened.
Yeah, no, this surprising. It's all right. Now I know. I won't get confused anymore.
So
All right.
to Mataji. So
Hmm.
all because of this greedy farmer, he used to get a lot of golden eggs.
Hmm.
And he couldn't wait each day, just like one day patiently.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
he got too greedy that he wanted more golden eggs to be more rich, and he wanted to be the richest man ever.
Mataji, can I say something?
Yes. Yeah, Janvi, go ahead. Thank you for your thoughts, Pavit.
So
Janvi.
I still have Mataji.
Yeah, okay. Let's hear from Palvit first. Janvi, I'll come back to you. Yes, Palvit. Let's finish.
Then he was thinking that if the golden eggs inside her, I can get some more eggs, like all golden eggs.
Yeah.
Then he's thinking, I will be so rich.
Palvit, we all know the story. What's the moral of the story?
But the moral of the story is, don't be too greedy. If you be too greedy, you'll lose your fortune. Like
Very true. Very well said. Thank you, Palvit. Yes, Janvi.
Okay, so I know two sayings of greed. And so the
Hmm.
first one is the earth has enough for every man's need, but not for every man's greed.
Ah, wow. Beautiful point. Very beautiful point. This
And then
relates to
there's
what I was saying before, right? One should be contented because God is giving us everything that we need.
And then there's this other one. It's the curse of the romantic is a greed for dreams and intensity of expectation of an expectation that in the end diminishes the reality.
Very true. Very well said. Thank you, Janvi. Very well said.
And there's one more. And
Oh,
it's
go ahead.
oh, I remember it. The difference between greed and ambition is a greedy person desires things he isn't prepared to work for.
Exactly, right? Right. Hard work. That's where hard work pays, right? And you don't regret anything.
my
because
teacher
you get the
says,
fruits of your efforts.
hard work pays off.
Never. If
Hard
you
work
just
always pays off.
always pays, always pays. There is no shortcut to that. So that is why all these greedy people, why are they greedy? Because they want shortcuts of everything, right? They don't want to work hard, as Janvi was also saying.
And
That's why.
And the meaning of greedy is that you want more and you won't stop thinking about it. Like you're like, I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it. Like so much. Like you want a lot of it. If you just
Exactly.
have one, you're like, I want more, I want more.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Thank you. Shubhadra, Giridhari, did you guys speak or you have anything else to share?
Did you have another thing to say?
Yeah.
So like if the man didn't kill the hen, like if he didn't if he didn't split the hen in half, and I know that there in 1 year there is 365 days, and if he was 100 years old, he would have $36,500 then. If he wasn't too impatient and if he wasn't greedy, then he would have that much money.
See? Right?
How
But he
much
thought,
money?
he thought the hen would stop giving me eggs at some
Mm.
point, right?
How
So
much
he must be thinking before it stops giving him, let me just take out everything, whatever it has. I think he just could not, well, even if there is a limit to what he could have gotten, well, he was getting enough. Why get greedy? Like in the last story we saw, no? The other person, he got some coins, somebody stole his pot, but he was okay. He said, okay, whatever I made is something that I wouldn't have gotten anyways, right?
Exactly.
Greedy. So that's the difference.
Mataji, how much dollars?
Huh?
How much dollars is
That's it, kids. That's it. That was the last story. So, moral for
36,000.
today is greed often overreaches itself. One should be patient and grateful for what they have rather than lose everything for more. Such a beautiful moral, right? This guy lost what he could have had. He lost all that too. So, never be greedy. Yes, somebody was saying something.
I wanted to say that don't think negative thoughts because they actually come. Just like how the farmer was thinking at one point he would lose the eggs and kill himself.
That's another angle.
And
Yeah.
that really did come. So that's
Absolutely.
why my mom says don't say nothing bad was that really will happen. You never know when it will.
Oh, exactly. And something good would come out, right? Their lows and highs in life.
So
So
you say,
why be negative?
I am so bad at something. And one
Oh,
day you never know that it will be bad. Like,
nobody is, so Rasika, don't ever think like that. Nobody is bad at anything.
yeah,
We all are humans and we are not perfect. That is why we are here in this Kali Yuga, right? Did you think
yeah,
we were perfect? If we were perfect and we were God fearing and God loving and great devotees, we would be here today? No, right? So at least let's think of this birth as an opportunity to go back to Godhead. Do
yeah,
what
that's right.
best we can do as a devotee, right?
Yeah, that's what my mom says. Don't
Exactly.
think negative.
Never
Because
think negative. We are here for a reason. We are given an opportunity. Imagine there's so many, like I have a dog, right? He's not given this opportunity to become a human this life. So we got this opportunity. Let's make best use of it.
yeah, just
Awesome.
like the
Absolutely. You already know that. All right, kids. End of the story too. Let us finish our today's class with Sri Vaishnav Pranam mantra. It is on your screen and we're going to do that together. Vancha All right, kids, it was so nice to see you today. We had fun, and I'll see you again in a couple of weeks. But until then, keep learning. And next time, I'm going to ask about the Kumaras. Okay, so do not forget that. All right, kids, I will see you then. And until then, bye. Hare Krishna.
Bye.
Bye.
Krishna Mataji. Hey, Johnny.
Oh, Madhav, you joined late? Madhav joined late? I didn't hear you today.
Mataji, is there going to be Madhava's class or this was it?
I think this is it. Actually, I do not remember if we have
Madhava
other
class is
classes.
only on Tuesdays. So every
Only.
Tuesday, yeah. But then Damodar class is every day, Monday through Friday. And then Saturday, it's 10 a.m.
Yeah, but I was kind of confused because I thought Madhava and
It used to be every day, but now it's just one day.
Hey,
Right.
Johnny, want to call me?
Maybe.
All right, kids, let's wrap up and bye. I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Bye.
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 Call me, okay?